Hi, and a really warm welcome to this lesson number 6, how to create health and wellness. And in order to really understand that, we've got to remember that we're not dealing with a physical body. We go all the way back to the first lesson when we think about how do we form our reality. It's a projection of consciousness, and our body's exactly the same. So you don't have a physical body in the way that you think of it. And so everything from the tablets you take, the therapies you take, how you think about your body, whether you go to the gym or not, are all impacted by this understanding. One of the main things that will be impacted is how you think of how to create wellness. So ideas around chakras, meridian lines, acupuncture, healing, all these things take on a very different idea when you understand that actually you create your own reality. It doesn't matter where the needle goes in acupuncture. Meridian lines don't exist. Chakras don't exist in the way that we think of them. These are all misunderstandings. And in order to really create health, you need to let them all go, challenging as that may be. And so what we're going to take a look at in this lesson is how to create health and wellness. What you believe about a therapy is most important. What you believe about going to the gym is more important than actually going to the gym itself. Remember, going to the gym, you're going to a dream gym. You're not going to a physical gym. It doesn't mean that the body doesn't want to move, and it's created to move. The consciousness that forms your body created there to actually be well and healthy. And so you will be intuitively driven, have impulses to move and that type of thing. But fundamentally, all the therapies, all the ideas, like I say, around chakras, meridian lines, healing, crystals, all those types of things, they really do fall away when you realize that they are also self-created in your own personal state of consciousness. So it's a challenging one. It's a really interesting area. I hope you enjoy it, and see you on the lesson. Take care. Hello and welcome back to this next training. This next training and the final one in this program is the true nature of illness and how to stay well. So let's have a look at that, because who wants to be sick? If I can help you stave off illness or resolve those issues, then that's absolutely a great gift. So let's have a look at what is illness. So what is illness? Traditionally we're told that illness is something that happens to us, that we can catch things from people, and that it's inevitable that we are going to get ill, that we have to get ill as we get older. Now, we've explored the nature of time and realized that time doesn't exist. And therefore, illness and time, don't really go together. You don't have to get ill at all. You don't have to be ill if you believe that, time, as you go through time, which is not true, you're going to fall apart and that your body's going to break down, then it will. But the truth is you don't have to be ill at all. That's a belief. So what I want you to understand is that illness is part of the feedback system, and it allows you to know that you're in conflict somewhere. Okay, and this is a very common idea, but it is very important to understand and put it in context of this being a state of consciousness. So when you think about it, what role do you think your thoughts and your beliefs, expectations and that type of thing have in illness? Because if you think about it, you recognize that your thoughts literally create the illness. Not quite literally. There's no guilt with it, so I don't want you to feel guilty and kind of beat yourself up about it. And it doesn't matter what illness it is. We generally start with an illness that is not as serious, and we kind of progress because we believe in time that it's going to get more serious. But what actually happens is you're constantly recreating that illness and that issue every day because you're not resolving the conflict within yourself. Remember, physical reality is a feedback system. And part of that feedback system is your body. And if you're healthy and if you've got a healthy belief system, then the likelihood is you're going to stay healthy physically. So it's your most intimate feedback system. So what role does illness take and where it places us? Well, it puts us in the role of the victim. That's what it generally does. A role that places the control of your body outside of you, outside of your conscious control. And that's the real downfall of the way that we've been taught. The idea that illness happens to us. Remember, if you go back to lesson 1, understand that, you can't actually pick up an illness from anybody because you are in your own self-created state of consciousness. So no germs arrive from somebody else to you because you're in a completely different state of consciousness to them. Okay, your personal reality is completely different. So you don't have to be ill. Okay, but because reality is a feedback system, it reflects back our beliefs And so I want to encourage you to see illness in the same light. So what we do have to do, though, is think about, well, what are the challenges in accepting this? And the challenges are emotional, because illness is painful. We see other people who are going through illnesses. They may die through illnesses. And so we're going, oh, you've got to be kidding. There's absolutely no way at all. I'm accepting that. But it is true. You create your own illness and your own wellness. So if that is true, then if an illness does occur, okay, what steps do you think you need to follow? So remember, this is no different than identifying beliefs. So remember, when we go back, identifying beliefs, you can do it emotionally through following your feelings, or you can do it through writing things down, kind of free association. So which do you think it is? Could be either. Yeah. An examination of your thoughts and beliefs will help you find the origin, and you using those same steps that you uncover any other beliefs, then the illness will go. I mean, I've, generally do not get ill at all. In fact, I don't even know who my doctor is. It's been that long since I've been to any doctor or anything like that. And that's because I've got a general sense that I don't actually have to be ill. I do not believe I have to be ill at all, because time doesn't exist. My body is refreshed every single day, and I don't actually have to be ill at all. So if an illness does occur, just go through exactly the same processes, but think about your core beliefs around illness. Okay, and that type of thing. So what are the core beliefs? So make a list of them. That over time your body's going to fall apart, that your parents had a particular illness or ailment in the past, and therefore you are suspect to that also. All that cancer is more difficult to cure than a cold. There are things you accept to be true, and obviously they're going to get played out in your life, and that's really important for you to put those core beliefs in order to stay healthy and well. So some core beliefs I would suggest would be that you are healthy and well, and you do not have to be ill. Yeah. If you do get an ache or a pain or an illness, that you can resolve it very quickly and very easily. They're two core beliefs, if you like. So if something does happen and you do actually get an illness for some reason, you're able to cure it very, very easily. Remember, your body, because this is a state of consciousness, is created by you. It's a dream body. Okay, it's a dream body. Then, it's part of the consciousness of that you are. And because of that, it means affected by you. So the traditional view of illness is a process that's out of control. The person's a victim to outside forces. Now, the true nature of illness is that it's a feedback system, and the body's reflecting some kind of conflict of belief, some kind of issue. And that through exploring that, the same way you'd explore anything else, a bit of self-exploration, then the illness will dissipate with the conflict. So I'd suggest that you see so like your bank balance, you see your body in the same way. It's simply a reflection. Okay, but the truth is, if you do not deal with that ailment, it will become more serious, because what will happen is the conflict will grow. So that's why it's really key. If you do get an illness or you've got any issues at all, just sit down quietly. You can work in your dreams and actually begin to work out what this is about. So it brings us on to another subject of, what is the body image? How is it constructed? And it is my direct experience that my body image, my shape, my health are composed essentially of a set of beliefs. These beliefs are maintained at other levels of consciousness. So I'll feed my inner self, if you like, and say, hey, this is who I am. This is what I look like. This is my body weight. This is how healthy I am. And that will then actually reflect that back at ego level. So the benefit of understanding that other levels of consciousness follow your beliefs is that it allows you to take back responsibility. You can choose your own health. It allows you to change your body image through changing your conscious beliefs. So that can be weight. It can be, I have experienced it in height also, which is a very strange experience. But essentially, in the general terms, your beliefs about it. So do you think then, if that's true, that, and given the experience of this course so far, that any doctor or healer or surgeon can actually cure your illness? Yeah. Do you think that in your own personal self-created state of consciousness that you create, that anybody else can actually cure you? Well, the answer is no. No other person ever cured anybody else. It doesn't matter what therapy, it doesn't matter the ritual. Shamans will use rituals. What they're doing is essentially they are empowering the persons to belief in curing themselves. There's placebo surgery where people have cured themselves. There are placebo tablets where people have cured themselves. I have cured myself before I kind of really secured my belief of many things supposedly incurable and helped other people cure themselves. When I was a healer for 10 years, that was my job. So it doesn't really matter what therapy, what ritual, what surgery is used. You cure yourself through the change in belief. And that's really key. So if that is key, if that is an understanding, and you know that if you've got an ailment or an illness that's a conflict, what do you think happens when any pain is kind of masked through drugs or all that kind of stuff, where the original cause cannot get gotten to, cannot be resolved? What do you think will happen? I don't know if you've ever had it where you've kind of taken a tablet but things have come back again and come back again. Sometimes you'll cure one pain over there and then it'll come back in your leg and then your arm or whatever it be, and that's generally what happens. The illness and the ailment, the conflict, will simply move. It'll erupt again in another portion of the body, or it'll erupt again in another portion of a person's life. Okay, so if a person doesn't resolve it but mask the pain, then it can externalize itself. It's not the quite word because nothing's externalized to you, but it can erupt again in an event in your life, and that is also not a great experience. So what are the implications then to orthodox medicine or complementary medicine or even alternative medicine? Because I had a therapy center for 10 years and we had many complementary and alternative therapies in there that were amazing and got amazing results. But what do you think this implication is? Because the key is, if you do get ill or if you're suffering in some kind of pain, then it will only change when your beliefs change. Now, that belief change can occur, and I'm not saying you should stop taking tablets or anything like that, but that will occur only when you change your beliefs. Okay? Any therapy or ritual or anything at all is based on your beliefs, because this is a self-created state of consciousness that you are in control of. So, what I'd suggest you do is see if you can take that on board. If you don't have an illness, explore your core beliefs about illness and time and how the effects of that type of thing. If you do have an illness, go inside and try and see what it feels like to you. And it's a multi-layered thing. So go and see what it feels like. I guarantee I've done it myself. I know there are thousands of people that have done it. You can cure your illness. There are lots and lots of examples online of people curing the most horrendous illnesses, cancers and that type of thing. And it really, truly does work. But you've got to take your power back and recognize it's you as that state of consciousness. Okay, give it a go. Feedback if you've got any questions.